we're recording this on Wednesday, and there will be memorials in Columbus and Calgary. And if you haven't seen the photos, I'm sure you will, or you probably have. But to see the Saddle Dome, and this is a player that left Calgary. I think there were a lot of people that were very upset by it when he did leave, but this was a player that everyone knew how special it was that he was there, how special it was that he was a Flame, and also a guy who I think has, we'll probably hear in the not so distant future. I have a feeling we'll see number 13 hanging in the rafters in the Saddle Dome. I think we'll see it at Nationwide Arena as well in Columbus. I think that what he meant to Columbus, or to Calgary first, and then what he meant to Columbus, choosing Columbus when so many free agents did not, choosing Columbus when he had an opportunity either to return to Calgary where he had been comfortable, or to go to maybe somewhere even closer to home than Columbus. Was there an opportunity to go to another team? He's a lifelong Flyers fan. Would that have been a possibility for him? But he chose Columbus. And I think there were a lot of different things. There was a family aspect to it. I know one of his very close friends was Eric Robinson, who was there. I think, you think about that. Getting on the American side of the border was important because after COVID, being separate from your family, you're starting your own family, as he and his wife Meredith did. And so all of those things, he meant so much. And I think Zach Werenski said it in a press conference today that, it was special that Johnny Gaudreau chose Columbus and a player of his caliber. I just remember the shock when I heard that that's where he was going to go, because no one chose Columbus, but yet he did. And so when you see these memorials and vigils and everything else that will be coming out, it just goes to show you people didn't just love Johnny Gaudreau because he was a great hockey player. That's how people got to know him. That's how people saw him. That's how people will continue to remember him as a hockey player. But just look at the personal accounts from teammates, friends, family, former coaches, guys that he just happened to meet, people that he met, fans that he interacted with. This is a special person. And you hear the same things about Maddie, and you see the GoFundMe for Maddie's family, and his family, over $500,000 in just a matter of days raised for his unborn son and his wife. And you just think about the impact that those two had on the people that they came in contact with. It's pretty special. And that to me is the legacy that they leave. And I talked a little bit about how players like Johnny, that looked like him, didn't really have necessarily a realistic expectation to make it to the NHL. A lot of them are told, you're too small, you're not going to make it. Johnny Gaudreau was told that plenty of times in his career. And I think even I wrote that I wasn't sure that he was going to make it when the first time I saw him when he was at the Dubuque Fighting Saints. I was like, gosh, this is special. This guy is special. There's no question he's special, but he's 5'7", 140 pounds. How many guys make it? And he did. And I wrote this as well in the column. When you're watching players, this is a lesson I learned very early on, thankfully, thanks to Johnny Gaudreau. You will know when you see that special quality. It's obvious in certain players. It might be how hard they compete. It might be the way they handle the puck. It might be the decisions that they make. It might be their speed. Johnny Gaudreau was this dynamo in a 5'7", 140-pound package against a team that the first time I ever saw him, he was playing against a team that had 4 future NHL defensemen and a number 1 NHL goalie on it. He had 3 points in the game, had a shootout goal, had an incredible overall impact in that game at his size, won Rookie of the Year that year, won the Clark Cup in the USHL with Dubuque. You cannot discount special, and he was special. Last night, my breath was basically taken away when I saw the post from Cole Caufield on Instagram. And Cole Caufield announced yesterday that he was changing his number to number 13 in honor of Johnny Gaudreau. Now, Cole, he wore number 13 in the past because he was inspired by Johnny Gaudreau. He put that post up, and the thing that struck me about that post was that, you know, Cole, it's there's a whole thing with him. You know, he was number 22, he goes to number 13, but he had the opportunity to play with Johnny Gaudreau at the most recent Men's World Championship. First time they've ever played on the same team together. And he talked about how badly he wanted to be around Johnny all the time, how much he wanted to just learn from him, and how he was inspired that Johnny Gaudreau paved the way essentially for players like him. And, you know, Cole Caufield has heard all the doubts that Johnny Gaudreau had, but he was inspired, and Johnny Gaudreau was a guy that broke a lot of barriers. At least, you know, he's not the first small player to make it in the NHL, but I think there's a lot that that made him special just because of, you know, the slight build and all these different things. And he looked like a child for most of his career. When he was on the World Junior team, they won gold medal. They were calling him little boy, even after winning the gold medal. But, you know, looking at this, and I just want to read the last little bit that Cole Caufield wrote in that post on Instagram. And you saw a little bit ago the picture, and just to let Cole's words say it, because this is really where, you know, I got choked up. He said, "The last few years playing as number 22 have been some of the best years of my life. It truly has been a dream come true, and I will forever hold those memories and that number close to me. I wore number 13 at a point in my career because of Johnny, and now I will be wearing it again to honor him. He paved the way for smaller players and proved that we had a future in the game at the highest level. I will forever be grateful to him for inspiring me and others. Rest in peace, Johnny Hockey." And you really can't say it better than Cole did right there. And, you know, Cole in number 13, when he was at the National Team Development Program, scored 72 goals, which is a record that I'm not sure will ever be broken at that program. 72 goals in one season, 14 goals in one under-18 tournament. And he also wore number 13 in 2 World Junior Championships, one of which he won gold at, just as Johnny Gaudreau had done. And I think, you know, Cole Caufield is going to do Johnny Hockey quite proud this year.